Hello everyone, welcome to another round of the FIA exhibition season 4 live stream at the Nordschleife. My plan wasn't actually to enter this first race, but I want to use it as a strategy test because I have no idea what I'm doing around here. So I'm about 8 seconds off the pace. Andrew, what's happening? And it seems to be not just my gear selection, like I changed gear too late in this car it seems, but also they just are able to carry more speed and find the apex much quicker than me, so that's a bit frustrating because I don't know why that's happening. So we have 11 minutes to go, quick sip of water, and then we're going to bang in a lap. For those of you who are re-watching, as always, I will put the time hops in the comments or in the description. For those of you watching live, stick around because we're going to do some FIA races. So I can't change the compound. So everyone's on the same compound. Amongst my mates, I'm P5. But look at that, 22.7 from Aug and Ienke, 7:23.4. These are incredibly fast times, and I cannot get close. When I did the 30.9, I thought I did a great lap. It was really smooth. There was one area which I made a small mistake, but overall, it was pretty much on point. So anyway, in these grade 2 cars, it's just absolutely mental how fast you go through some of these sections. I suppose, one of my dreams is it's a recent dream. One of my goals, it's not a dream, it's a goal, is to race in the Nürburgring 24-hour. Rinaldi Racing is one of the legends of the Nordschleife. And they race in it every year. So they have 2 cars in this race. The team name is actually Wochenspiegel Team Manschau by Rinaldi Racing. And we were hoping to get me in the car this year, but I didn't get my Nürburgring license in time. Nürburgring license is not cheap, it's 15,000 euros. And you have to basically do a certain amount of laps in a much slower car, BMW 2 Series or Porsche Cayman, and I just ran out of money and time to do it. So I was hoping to do it this year, but I will try and do it next year. So this is good practice, I suppose, until I can do the actual real thing. But you hear legendary tales of the best drivers in the world being 20 seconds off the pace when they first drive around the Nordschleife, sometimes even a minute. And that's with them pushing. So it's obviously a very difficult racetrack, which requires a lot of knowledge and knowing all the bumps, all the curves. Easy flat through there in this car. I haven't done a track guide of this track because if you followed it, you'd just be following someone who's talking nonsense. Because every time I do a lap around here, I'm still figuring things out, figuring which curves I can ride and which I can't. And there's no ways I could talk and do a fast lap through here while trying to think straight and drive straight. Just earlier I was trying to make some modifications to my lines and I spun in both laps, losing about 20 seconds. So yesterday I was at the Autosport International, their sort of motorsport convention. I was there as a guest of the Events House guys. They are responsible for setting up all the F1 esports races and also have a racing team. And it was my first time at the Autosports Awards. I saw the Ferrari guys, got to hang out with Matt Griffin for a bit, which was always fun. Whoa! And I got to see the modern F1 cars, which is, they are so big compared to when I used to watch them. Okay, when I was watching them live in Brazil in 2010, they weren't exactly small anymore. But I've seen quite a few modern F1 cars, or sorry, pre-2010 F1 cars recently, because I coach at the Ferrari Challenge events, and they have the F1 Clienti program. So I often see the Ferrari V8s and V10s being driven, the F1 cars, by very, very, very wealthy gentlemen who own them. And they are just tiny compared to the modern F1 cars. It's no wonder that they were just as fast, even though they had less power. I cannot get over though the size of the rear tires of the modern F1 cars, and the build quality in general has definitely gone up. If you look at an F1 car from before 2009-ish, the panel gaps and everything, it's just strange. It's like they really look more handmade from that era than they do now. When you look at an F1 car now, they look very refined, and like they came off a mass-produced production line, and it was just really cool to see them in person properly. Man, oh man, this car's just mental to drive around here, honestly. So, in a lot of the corners I was one gear too low, or too high. Too low. I was in second gear instead of third gear there, for example, on my fast lap. This happens meant to be in second gear, then you have to be very gentle on the power. Short shifting, not really short shifting, but as the rev counter touches I'm talking about the rev counter, the digital one above the gear selection. As soon as that thing touches the edge of as soon as it lights up the whole way, you're meant to change gears, it seems. I was really revving it out, waiting for the 9,000 revs in the sort of fake analog counter on the right. Come on, find me that apex. So it goes without saying that I'm not going to be commentating during this qualifying a race. Just takes all my concentration to get through here without dying. Another cool thing I saw yesterday was the modern WRC cars. With their new liveries, but without the drivers. I suppose I was there one day too early, but I wanted to be here for this race. I missed most of the FIA season. I wasn't expecting to win it, but I was hoping to get a top 20. That was, of course, before the DR meltdown. Which happened just before I left for holiday in Europe. We're now back in the A+ area, but at the bottom end we're at like 54,000 points or something, with the maximum being 75,000 points. But I've barely done any daily races this week because I've just been a little bit bored with the combinations. I do think Gran Turismo is short of tracks at the moment. Woo! I'm going to read the comments after I finish this sort of warm-up. Oh, come on, man, get in there. Miss hit, miss. Oh, stay on the track, man. Stay on the track. qualifying here is not easy because because your warm-up lap you basically have to spend going at 5 k's an hour, and then you run out of time, so you effectively do your qualifying lap in the next during the timeout session. So once the session's over, they give you an extra lap for those who haven't completed their first one. So you've got to do the warm-up lap in 10 minutes, like 9 minutes, saving your tires, and then going like hell on the actual lap. So you only get one flying lap, and I can tell you now that if you start below 10th, you're in for a world of hell with penalties. So considering I started practicing an hour ago here, I'm so prepared, sarcasm included, and I'm really just worried a little bit about the quali, because some of these corners are really flat out, but you are going, it's a single line easy flat. It's not like you can move around the cars in front or behind you. Ooh. And that's just going to lead to incidents. You know, you're going to be going flat through a section. Guy in front of you is also easy flat, and then he hits a bump the wrong way, goes sideways, and you hit him by mistake into the wall. He gets damaged, you get a 5-second penalty or more, which you have to serve at the beginning of the longest straight in the world. All the names of the corners are escaping me now. So I need to be mindful of that and put together a pretty decent lap. The question is, given tire wear, is actually quite high. So is the fuel wear. Fuel mileage, fuel consumption. You do have to manage this whole race quite a bit. So it wasn't my intention to do the 5 p.m. race, which is the first time slot of the evening, but I'm going to use it as a strategy, a way to determine the strategy for this race. My commentary is very patchy because, yeah, it's freaking wild, man. Whoa, and whoa. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, quick read of the comments. First of all, thanks to everyone who has tuned in. Not familiar with almost anyone here. Excited to watch you. Logan, what's happening? Had a hard time figuring out which gear to use. Yeah, it's mostly off just feeling. My time was 8:30 with a couple of crashes. I've only practiced one lap. Yeah, look, if you're going to have one lap of practice, then sorry, mate. I see the former A1 GP series is going to run in South Africa. At least exhibition races for this year. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I'm not sold on it. I think it's been threatening to get started for a long time. It requires a lot of money to run those cars. I can tell you for free that South Africans cannot afford that race. I mean, to race those cars. So I'm still a little bit skeptical. Having read what they said on Autosport, it didn't seem like anything was actually concrete besides the fact that they've got some funding. But a lot of the street tracks that want to be committed are not committed. They're just keen, and I'm quoting directly. They've already done some exhibition stuff. So let's see how it goes. Can't shake the cliche. Hi, what's happening, dude? Thanks for joining in. Is it going to be a one-stop or no stop? Definitely a one-stop. These tires don't last. Well, you know, you gain more. You may lose 10 seconds in the pit stop, but you will find that lap time at the end of the second half of the race. Well, sorry, in the final quarter of the race, you'll find a lot of lap time compared to the other guys. My only concern at the moment is fuel consumption, but I think you can save quite a bit of fuel in some of the sections, and also you can hopefully short fill a little bit during the pit stop, but to me that's not important. The importance is how do you manage the tires, and then how do you manage not crashing for 2 laps. When I just started this thing, when I started practicing earlier, I did 4 laps in a row without any incidents. That was with the pressure off. So let's see how it goes with the pressure on. I'm reasonably relaxed. I mean, for the Brands Hatch race, I was really, for some reason, excited. And in the Tokyo Expressway race, I was actually pretty chilled. So it's usually the first race that I'm pretty nervous about. But for now, I'm feeling okay. So we're going to do a slow warm-up laps, 15-minute qualifier. And then we're going to go full gas for the race itself. Yeah, no penalties is the name of the game here. Eki boy, what's happening? So let's just get out there and burn some fuel. Just a little bit of fuel though, because 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Look, guys, I need to do one race here just to see how the strategy plays out. So this is going to be a very long warm-up lap. Just so you know, in the Nürburgring 24, the warm-up lap is so long before the race start that the drivers, the mechanics, go to lunch. That's when they have lunch. They have lunch during the warm-up lap, and then by the time they finish lunch, the cars are coming around to actually start the race. Found that quite interesting. I will read the comments again after qualifying. I just can't see them now. Just 1-0, screeching on the tires, going through the corners in high gears. I'm definitely not in a super alien group. I reckon maximum points here is like 1,300, 800 or 2,000. So that does relax me a little bit, because when you're in the alien groups you want to do well. I mean, you want to do exceptionally well. It just seems like a little bit more pressure. But these groups here I'm a little bit more relaxed. That's not to say I take them for granted, not at all. I do definitely still, you know, I have a tendency to throw away the easy races. I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't focus enough or something. But to be honest with you, that has kind of changed this season. Things improved considerably, which was my aim, is just to be better than I was the day before. One thing I regret doing is not doing a custom livery. We're in the standard livery for now, and we're about to go off, but that's okay, you know. So the question is, in this kind of qualifying, do you go for speed or for reliability? Do you just try and cross the finish line, get into the top 5 or top 8, or do you risk it all and go for glory? My guess is try and get a top 8. Also considering that we have a little bit of tire wear going on here, as well as weight from the fuel load, it could be that the gears that I was using in my best lap will actually apply for this one. So those super long gears carrying the momentum in third gear when as opposed to second gear maybe is not possible. Oh, the bumps through there are mental. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in on a Saturday. You guys are legends. Only thing that went bad with my Saturday was I couldn't find the live coverage for Formula E, and then I found out the results while searching for the live coverage for Formula E. So thanks to the Formula E for being completely inconsistent with your broadcasting. The first round was on live on YouTube. Second round was not. Turned out it was live on BT Sports in the UK, and this just completely messed with my day. I didn't know this. I assumed it would be live on YouTube because the first one was, and they made a big deal about free to air. And then in searching for the coverage, I found out the results. Guess where? The Formula E website. So thanks for that, guys. Obviously we have the fuel remaining thing in our way. So if you're super GT, you're bleak. Luckily I'm not, so I'm not so bleak. Are these guys doing a pit stop? No, they're going for it. 6 minutes remaining, you don't have time to do a pit stop out lap. So this lap is it. Choked you guys in 7 minutes and something. Unbelievably, I'm going to run out of fuel in this lap. This is what's happening right now. So I've misjudged the fuel consumption on the out lap. Whoopsie. Oh, hello, understeer. Whoopsie. Completely misjudged the fuel. Whew. I didn't even realize that. Luckily I did this as a test race. I mean a test lap. 7:31, no chance. I was fuel saving the whole way. Damn it. That's really not a good sign. Probably should have done that as a test, right? Whoopsie! Sorry kids. Strategy was a bit too much fuel consumption on the out lap. So now we're stuck at 80 kph until we get to the finish line. Time slippage, exponential. Looking at an 8-minute here. Can't believe it. Of all the things. Okay, so on the out lap you have to go like full lean basically. Ribs, I started the lap with 1.3 fuel. I did start the lap with 1.3. But I think I needed about 1.5 to start the lap. I can't read the chat, and I try not to anyway during racing. I have no idea where we would have qualified there. I think the lap time itself was only maybe a 7:35, 7:36. Paul, yeah, the ACC is definitely going to be on. Have an online mode. This mode is still in development, from my understanding. One of the guys who watches the stream is the developer of their new penalty system. So I know for sure that I think we're going to qualify second last year. What does that mean for the race? Fuel saved like hell to get into the top 10. Ribs, what is the strategy for the race, bud? Can you give me any insight? Olivia, we definitely... So, Ribs, is there no pit stop? Q&A time. Are we doing any pit stops in this race? I'm going to be back in exactly 1 minute. Oh, it's a slippery slope, ladies and gentlemen. Last time I did a Nürburgring online race, FIA race, I had to, I tried to just go long on the tires, which was a complete disaster. Paul, I think that the online racing on Assetto Corsa is going to be probably one of the best in the world. Competizione. From my understanding, iRacing has a really good system. I'd say Gran Turismo has by far the worst system, so there's that, you know. I gotta say, my biggest frustration with the FIA races is that when you do practice in the normal practice mode, fuel consumption is off and tire wear is off. You never, unless you go into a lobby, you cannot experience the tire wear and fuel consumption. So often you just land up in the race without any preparation or actual knowledge of the actual handling of the car. Speaking of which, the guy in P1 did a mega job. Mega job. Paul, once I get my visas and everything, I'll be able to look at getting a PC. I can't afford to do it all, so visa applications are not cheap, buddy. Did these guys in last and second last, did they just well, they must have either done a pit stop or they ran out of fuel way before I ran out of fuel. Why aren't they finishing their laps? Come on, man. €45 for a game that took many years to develop is for free, guys. Those of you who complain about prices of games have no idea how hard it is to make these things, and the amount of effort that goes into it really irritates me. When, not that you guys are doing that, I'm just saying in general, when guys complain that like an app is $5 or a game is $60, it's like, dude, you have no idea. Like, you're getting hours and hours and hours of fun for $45. I mean, if I look at the cost of Gran Turismo to me, which was just the initial purchase, and the amount of hours I've put into this thing to become a better racing driver, it's been like 1 cent an hour of actual cost to me. So Mr. Mitchell, 1986. I can't see you beating me. Where's Bonkers? There's Bonkers, 1508. Bonkers and I have run into each other. I'm really worried about running into him again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Finally. Finally. Okay, so points table, wow, quite high actually. Racing hard. No fuel. Nice, you're fast. Okay, so Rubs reckons no stopper. Oh, here we go. Cheese. Time for the cheese. Paul, my setup is basically the cheapest setup you can get. So, that's the play seat. I got the cheapest play seat. I got a small screen. I don't know what inch this thing is. It's like 30 something inches. And I got the Thrustmaster, but that was sponsored. But it's sort of middle of the range Thrustmaster, the TGT. So, yeah, I would say that so the simpler the better. Just, you got to try and get off the remote as soon as you can. But you also, you know, just invest a little bit in your wheel. You want good force feedback. I played yesterday with the Logitech G20, I think it's the G29. What a joke. The brake pedal is like pressing on air, and the what you call it, there was barely any force feedback. It felt like I was turning, it felt like the force feedback had been turned off completely. Someone forgot to plug the thing in. So I highly recommend getting the Thrustmaster TGT, and that's not just because I was supplied with one by them, although big thanks to them. It's honestly bang for buck the best wheel. You can go to Fanatec, which I initially bought very expensive, but you know, is it twice as good as the Thrustmaster? I wouldn't say so. They do have better pedals. I've told Thrustmaster that their pedals need work. They know their pedals need work. That's the only down at the moment. And the Fanatec has phenomenal pedals, but specifically when I'm playing PlayStation games, the Fanatec, none of the game developers have put any time into sorting out the amount of detail that you can get from a Fanatec wheel. So if you're sticking with PS4, Thrustmaster GT. If you're going to a PC, Thrustmaster GT, maybe with different pedals with an adapter to the wheel itself. I believe that is possible. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to go full lean because I think there's going to be chaos in front of me. So I don't want to get involved in that chaos. I want to start to make my moves on lap 2. My phone is ringing as the race starts, so that was a bit of a distraction. Here comes my big penalty. There you go. Guy was squeezing me, man. Where was I meant to go? Honestly, what an idiot. Oops.
I think this is the wrong strategy.
I think if you're starting down the pack, you should pit.
guys who pitted are already catching us. Here comes a mess. Oh my god. Oh, come on, David! Ah! That is infuriating. Come on, man! Unbelievable. You know, I was actually catching the leaders on that lap. Started on a 33-second gap and came onto this Fluchtplatz at 32 seconds. Well, I was coming onto it at that point. Never liked this race. Okay, so, credit to Ribs. Strategy is right. Just need to qualify higher. I did a 45.9, even with all that crap and that mistake. Oh, why did I press back here? Whoopsie. Eight minutes until the next race starts. Oh, I suppose that's the benefit of this long qualifying. Definitely not getting the F1 car. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay, back in we go. David, save fuel on the frickin' save fuel in the outlap peril. Don't be an idiot. Race entry, 6 minutes to go. This is how it should be, not 40-minute gaps between races. Okay, got the strategy sussed out. And yeah, I wonder how many points SR points I lost there. That was very frustrating. That was actually getting on my nerves a little bit. The first accident, I mean, I knew I was going to get the penalty for something that I didn't do. The guy was leaning on me. I'm like, well, if I tap off now, you're going to miss out. You're going to spin out. And if I maintain full gas, at least I can keep going. And yeah, so he ended up spinning out on his own. And then I just slightly nudged someone when I went off. I think it was Bunkers, but he was already off. So that got me another SR knock. But anyway, I only lost one SR point. I'm on 98 instead of 99. So almost had an unplug the server moment there, but what's up? Okay. So qualifying, outlap, take it easy on the tires, and then I'm going to go fuel map 6 the whole way on the outlap. Slow as you can through the apex there, just so you can get the car straight for the exits. That was pretty good so far. Oh, 1/10 down on my best after all that. Can't believe it. I thought that was going to be my best sector for this car record. I thought I was going to be miles ahead actually. Imagine going flat through here at 300 kph. One of the things my racing driver friends irritated me with was, after seeing the Porsche 918 onboard lap around the Nordschleife, they're like, yeah, I suppose it was okay. They just don't have the mental capacity to give fellow drivers a compliment. No matter how impressive the lap was, a racing driver always thinks he can do better. Even when he does terribly, he looks at the win, he's like, oh, I can do that. I just had XYZ excuses. And if those excuses weren't to my way, of course I would have beat the guy. That was a chunky amount of time to give away in one corner. Where am I on the track again? Oh yeah, going up the hill. The big climb. This must be insane in a GT3 car at night with traffic. Can't imagine anything more scary, honestly. That's why initially I never wanted to do the Nürburgring 24 hours, because the traffic management is terrifying. Oh. But Ronaldo Racing have convinced me otherwise, of the epicness of the race, and that you have to put it on the CV. Whoa! Man, oh man, how fast is this car around here? Man, oh man. Whoa! Don't want to get on there. No! No, come on! Oh my god.